but not as much as he had been expecting. In fact, he seemed to drink in the light, staring around at the bleak landscape and the sky with a growing sense of peace. There were the woods. He had played in them once, and the leaves were turning brown and red. There were the fields, dark now with recent rain, and there were the old outbuildings his father had let fall into disrepair. Somewhere beyond them, there was a paved road, but it was a long walk. His mother's body, which he had dragged out onto the scrubby grass with him, looked more beautiful already. Away from the house, she was something else. Taking hold of her ankles, he dragged her a little further, across the dirt track and into the fallow field opposite. Here. He opened his mouth to say more, but couldn't. The grass was wet, framing his mother and cushioning her, and he could feel the life of it, tiny flies and beetles, the bright interest of worms. The boy moved so that he was kneeling next to her, and he felt his body fill with an anger that was so flat and so enormous it was like a landscape inside him, a rage that filled his every horizon. For a time, he came untethered from himself, seeing nothing but that flat, red rage, hearing nothing but thunder. He did not come back to himself until a polite cough from behind him made him jerk with surprise. His arms were bloody to the elbow, and his mouth was thick with the taste of pennies. There were things in his teeth. "What is this, then? What do we have here?" There was a man in the grass, tall and sharp-angled. He was wearing a hat, and he was watching the boy with a kind of gentle curiosity, as though he had come across someone making a kite or playing conkers. The boy went utterly still. The man wasn't from the house, but that didn't mean the boy wouldn't be punished. Of course he would be punished. He looked down to see what he had done to his mother, and the edges of his vision went grey. "Now then, don't take on so." The man took a step forward, and for the first time the boy saw that he had a dog with him, a huge black dog covered in shaggy black fur. It steamed slightly in the cold morning air and looked at him with yellow-brown eyes. "You know, I had completely forgotten the Reeves had a boy. But there you are. There you are, after all." The boy opened his mouth and closed it again. The Reeves were his family, and they would be angry with him. "And what a creature you are." The boy winced, remembering how his mother had called him brute and beast and filth. But the man sounded pleased, and when the boy looked up, he was shaking his head gently. "You're to come with me, I think, my little wolf, my little barguest." The dog opened his mouth, letting loose a long pink tongue. After a moment it began to lick the blood from the grass. Chapter 2. Cold and tired and in no mood for awkward pleasantries, Heather forced a polite smile on her face. A moment later she reconsidered, and just as forcibly removed it. Smiling too much at a time like this would be seen as inappropriate, and she was already well aware that she was about as welcome as a turd in a swimming pool. "Thanks, Mr. Ramsay, for waiting in for me. It's very kind of you." Mr. Ramsay glowered at her. "Well, if you had been around here more often, I dare say you would have had your own set of your mother's keys." He sniffed, communicating in one bronchial sound everything he thought of Heather Evans. "Your poor mother. Well, it's all very sad, I'm sure. Very sad indeed. Just a terrible situation all round." "Yeah, it's definitely that." Heather hefted the keys in her hand, looking at the towering bushes and trees that hid her mother's house from the road. "Don't let me keep you, Mr. Ramsay.